We all love a legendary comeback, and Degree Original Cool Rush is back and better than ever. Cool Rush isn't just a scent, it's a movement, a fan favorite that delivers bold, fresh vibes and all-day sweat protection. Whether you have a man that spends hours in the gym, heads into the office early, or is just trying to stay fresh on a long day, Cool Rush has their back. Head to your local Walmart or Target and grab Degree Cool Rush, the fan favorite scent from the world's #1 antiperspirant brand.
Welcome to People Tech, the podcast of the HCM Technology Report. I'm Mark Pfeffer. Today I'm speaking with Mark Zides. He's the Chief Growth Officer at ELB Learning. His company's at work in a quickly growing multi-billion-dollar market, and they're pursuing the business with a variety of technologies. So, we're going to talk about AI, video, virtual reality, and ChatGPT, of course, along with COVID's impact on learning and the role of partnerships, all on this edition of People Tech. Hi, Mark. Thanks for coming in. So let's start by just talking about the business and, HR in general. So many areas of HR have been impacted by COVID over the last few years. What's going on in the learning space? Have things changed very much?
They've certainly shifted, Mark, with respect to how training is delivered. A lot of clients post-pandemic went to a more virtual model with respect to how they consume their training. So classroom-based or in-person shifted probably, maybe it was 60-40. It went the other way, maybe 80-20 or even 90-10. So a lot of the training is distributed or delivered online, whether it's through immersive learning like gamification or even virtual reality on the immersive side, or just traditional e-learning, through a learning management system.
And you think this was all speeded up by COVID, or?
I do. I think that accelerated things, and it made companies shift to a more distributed model, something that was more scalable when people were working from home.
So, Mark, to follow up on that, what has ELB Learning done to keep up with these changes?
So we've done an incredible job staying modern with respect to both our technology tools and platforms, as well as the way we deliver training. So many companies are looking for creative learning solutions, learning experiences. And we're a world-class leader with respect to how the training is both developed and delivered really on time in a bespoke or customized manner for all of our clients.
Now, the other question, or another area that you have to ask if you're talking about HR nowadays, is AI. And I'm wondering, does AI play a significant role in learning? And what's it doing? Where's it going?
Yeah, that's a really good question, Mark. It's really early on, to be frank. I think AI is helping with a lot of content aggregation. I think it's helping with building some on-demand tools or some on-demand resources for people to kind of learn and self-absorb training in a self-paced manner. But I don't think it's really where it needs to be with respect to building the learning experiences that companies like ELB Learning build for our clients. So, for example, we have some great games, we have some great virtual reality products that allow companies to experience great learning and content, and AI is not there from the standpoint of building those out for our clients or our customers.
Now, how do you think that's all going to play out? I mean, over time, how do you think AI is going to impact the area?
I think AI will become a standard in the industry. I think it'll become a add-on or bolt-on to certain technologies. So, for example, we have a couple of great tools, Scenario VR. We have Lectora, which is an online e-learning development tool. AI could be, API'd or embedded into or connected to that tool, which will allow a lot of content and a lot of information and knowledge to be brought into or automated into that content development process. So I think it will accelerate things. I think it'll open up a lot more opportunities and creativity for instructional designers, e-learning developers on the development side. On the HR side, I think that HR organizations, need to understand, what the impact is from a use case perspective, or how that those tools will, enable them within the organizations to be more agile and be able to get the information when they want it and when they need it.
And do you think that users really understand what AI is? You see a lot of stories about companies just sort of putting the label of artificial intelligence on pretty much everything they do. And, the average consumer, and probably the average business consumer, isn't really clear on what the difference is and what AI really is. Do you find that's true?
I do. I think it's very true. I think that it's early on, whether it's ChatGPT or other AI tools that really help the content aspect and the knowledge aspect of the world that we're in, right? So it helps synthesize, it helps, validate certain information. It helps, for example, content writers with the writing skills that they need, or it helps them build outlines or plans or strategies. I still think there's a human touch that's necessary in HR, but if it's policy or compliance or standard content or information, I think it certainly will accelerate things. Absolutely.
The world's best-known investor and Wall Street expert Warren Buffett once said, "Wall Street is the only place that people ride to in a Rolls-Royce to get advice from those who take the subway." Mr. Buffett's quote is remarkably accurate, but how many people would rather receive advice from him than someone simply guessing? Welcome to Buy, Hold, Sell, your single source for Wall Street knowledge and profitable guidance. Please join me, Todd Schoenberger, and fellow trader Tobin Smith, as well as host Veronica Dudo, for a podcast known to move the needle for investors. Tobin and I are seasoned Wall Street executives with deep investment experience, and we are prepared to share our advice to those who choose to listen. Download Buy, Hold, Sell today on the Evergreen Podcast Network or your favorite podcast channel.
Speaking of ChatGPT, what's your take on that? Where's it going?
I believe it's a really strong tool that will enable people to, build foundational knowledge and also foundational content when it comes in a business sense. So whether, when you look at it through the lens of HR, if you're a recruiter and you need to write job descriptions, it'll help you build a world-class job description, right? It'll also help HR professionals, streamline their jobs a lot faster with respect to, the way that the content needs to be developed and consumed. It also helps from a searchability perspective, right? So, just like people used to go to Google to kind of find their information or knowledge, ChatGPT allows you to do that as well, right at the tip of your fingertips. So it's a really interesting tool, and it's going to be interesting to kind of see how that morphs, as it cascades into organizations, really every day.
Yeah, it's really interesting how much attention it's got in a fairly limited amount of time. What's driving that, do you think? What's made people sit up and take notice of this particular package?
Well, I think it's just like any other, I guess, software tool, right? Remember back in the day, you and I are old enough to remember when, Microsoft came out with DOS and they thought that was the greatest thing. And then DOS went to Windows 3.1 and everyone's like, wow. And then it went for Windows 95 and, then it went to, web-based, email and other types of tools. So I think this is just another iteration of, a mobile or a technology capability that has hit the marketplace that, this one's a game changer with respect to, the way it synthesizes data and information. So I think it's a hot topic. And I think that companies, regardless of the vertical or the industry you're in, are going to be able to utilize it to enhance their organizational capabilities as well as their brands.
Now, shifting gears again, not terribly long ago, you entered a strategic partnership with Docebo. And can you tell me about that and how partnerships in general actually fit into your roadmap?
Yeah, so Docebo is a great partner. They're one of the top SaaS-based LMS or learning management companies out there. And ELB, has a strong alliance with, certain software companies. And there was a great opportunity for the two companies to connect to really affiliate in a way where we can help each other's customers out. So they have a really strong LMS and in really the mid-market and, sort of lower end of the enterprise. But they didn't have a content development capability. And on our side, on the ELB learning side, we had a strong LMS, but not one that scaled to the degree that the Shabos did. So it was a great partnership opportunity where our two sales and go-to-market organizations could collaborate and help each other out, build our organizations from a, client development and client scalability perspective.
Now, how about video? I mean, it seems like that's been increasing in importance for, quite a while. Do you think that's going to continue?
I do. Yeah, that's a great point, Mark. I think video learning, whether it's video through YouTube, are great paradigms, are great ways to push content or tell stories. And a lot of it can be in that TikTok style of video, right? So some of our clients are looking for those types of modalities when it comes to learning. So we're working with one of the biggest software companies in the world right now where they want TikTok style videos in their customer service organization to deploy training and updates to their tech. So they don't want those long form, 20-minute e-learning modules. They want 90 seconds, 3 minutes at tops stories, in that sort of TikTok level type video or, Instagram reels. So it's a real thing. Our clients are asking for it. From a creativity perspective, it's a lot of fun for our instructional designers and developers to push out that type of content or those types of videos.
How about virtual reality? Are you getting into that?
We are, yeah. We're one of the founding, really thought leaders and strongest companies out there from a virtual reality or VR perspective. We have our own custom content VR tool called Scenario VR, and it allows content developers to develop their own virtual reality experiences, either on the desktop or through any type of headset. So our clients are actually pushing the envelope a little bit from a standpoint of creativity, trying to put end users into really immersive experiences, and that's picking up a lot of steam as well.
Well, Mark, thanks very much for stopping by today. It was great to talk with you.
Yeah, same here, Mark. Thanks for the time.
My guest today has been Mark Zides, the Chief Growth Officer at ELB Learning. And this has been People Tech, the podcast of the HCM Technology Report. We're a publication of Recruiting Daily. We're also a part of Evergreen Podcasts. To see all of their programs, visit www.evergreenpodcasts.com. And to keep up with HR technology, visit the HCM Technology Report every day. We're the most trusted source of news in the HR tech industry. Find us at www.hcmtechnologyreport.com. I'm Mark Pfeffer.
Do you love news about LinkedIn, Indeed, Google, and just about every other recruitment tech company out there?
Hell yeah. I'm Chad.
I'm Cheese.
We're the Chad and Cheese Podcast.
All the latest recruiting news and insights are on our show.
Dripping in snark and attitude.
Subscribe today wherever you listen to your podcasts. We out.
Faith in the news media has been challenged, making it even harder to get stories told. The Friday Reporter podcast was created to help audiences better understand the media by hosting journalists who will answer the questions to which we need answers. Join me every Friday to hear more.